Hello and good afternoon. Announcements: all open sessions of the Board of Trustees are recorded and streamed in real time at www.fuhsd.net. We're going to call the meeting to order at 4:30 at Fallbrook Union High School, Library, 2400 South Stagecoach Lane, Fallbrook, California, 92028. We'll begin with the closed session agenda: Public Employment, Discipline, Dismissal, and Release, Government Code, Section 54957. Conference with legal counsel pending litigation, Government Code, Section 54956.9D1. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2. Conference with labor negotiations, Government Code, Section 54957.6. District Negotiators Ilsa Garza Gonzalez, Superintendent, Employee Organizations FHSTA and SEIU. Unrepresented employees, classified management, certificated management, and confidential employees. Next we have the superintendent evaluation and chief business officer evaluation. Opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any item described in this agenda. In this agenda for the closed session, opportunity will be granted for open session items. Government Code Section 54954.3. Do we have any closed session comments?
We do not.
Thank you. Now we will adjourn to closed session. Right, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and reconvene to open session at 5:32 p.m. Announcements. All open sessions of the Board of Trustees are recorded and streamed in real time at www.fuhsd.net. Please stand for the flag salute. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we'll do a roll call. Board of Trustees, Oscar Caralampio, President, is present. Eddie Jones, Vice President.
Present.
Tauna Rodarte, Clerk, is absent. Paul Christensen, Trustee.
Present.
Chris Haskell, Trustee.
Present.
And Superintendent Ilsa Garza Gonzalez.
Present.
Thank you. Informal review of governing team norms. The Board of Trustees approved norms are that we be respectful, be approachable, be open-minded, be communicative with no surprises, be willing to listen, be prepared, and be trustworthy. Report from closed session. Public Employment Discipline Dismissal and Release Government Code Section 54957, nothing to report. Conference with legal counsel pending litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9D1, nothing to report. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, nothing to report. Conference with labor negotiations, Government Code Section 54957.6, nothing to report. District Negotiator Ilsa Garza Gonzalez, Superintendent, Employee Organizations, FHS, TA, and SEIU, unrepresented employees, classified management, certificated management, and confidential employees. Superintendent evaluation and Chief Business Officer evaluation. Next, we will adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll set the motion to adopt the agenda.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christensen. And Mr. Jones, do you have any comments or questions? None? Good. Go ahead and move on to the vote. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Presentations. Citizen Oversight Committee bond presentation. Ms. Sherry? Weisher? Thank you.
Close enough. Hi, good evening. So this is our annual report for the Citizens Oversight Committee. As the chairperson of the Citizens Oversight Committee, I am pleased to present the consolidated report that you should all have of our meetings held during the 2024-25 fiscal year. Our committee, established on March 13th, 2017, continues to uphold its mandate of ensuring that funds associated with bond measure AA are spent as outlined in the measure's ballot language. It is essential to reiterate for the board and the public the specific bond language that guides our operations. As approved on the November 8th, 2016 ballot, bond measure AA funds are to be explicitly used for the improvement of the Fallbrook High campus. More specifically, Article 13A, Section 1, Subdivision B3 of the California Constitution authorizes the expenditure of these funds for the construction, reconstruction, rehabilitation, or replacement of school facilities, including the furnishing and equipping of school facilities or the acquisition or lease of real property for school facilities. Consequently, as per Article 13A, Section 1, Subdivision B3A of the California Constitution, no bond revenues are expended for any teacher or administrative salaries or other school operating expenses. This serves as our guiding principle in the oversight and approval of bond expenditures. In the 2024-25 fiscal year, the COC scheduled quarterly meetings and reviewed a range of bond expenditures covering various projects. These included electrical upgrades, modernization projects, infrastructure improvements, and more. Attached, you should have an itemized list of all those projects that we reviewed. In our meetings held on September 18th, 24, November 19th, 2024, and March 18th, 2025, we conducted a thorough review of bond expenditures with the total for the 24-25 fiscal year amounting to $9,647,928.33. Key infrastructure projects were the highlight of these meetings. They included the modernization of the HVAC system and upgrades, ag department upgrades, and our power systems electrical upgrade, which was huge. The new CTE building, which houses the auto shop and the metal shop, is also nearing completion. We received the June 30th, 2024 Measure AA audit report, which showed the financial status for the district. The fund balance at that time stood at $16,488,446 with no findings reporting, therefore indicating prudent fiscal management. We suggest that this positive report should be shared with the community through various channels, including local media. Our meetings also involved organizational matters. We added a member at large and discussed the commitment of the remainder of the bond funds. In conclusion, the Citizens Oversight Committee remains vigilant in ensuring the prudent utilization of bond revenues, guided by the specific bond language and our committee's bylaws. Our focus is to keep the district accountable and transparent in its financial dealings, and we look forward to continuing our service in the upcoming year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have introduction. Ms. Amy Bacanava, Assistant Principal, Fallbrook High School.
Yes, Aime Bacanava, if you would come up to the podium. I am proud and honored to introduce to you Aime Bacanava, who recently joined Fallbrook High School as our assistant principal. She started July 1st, and she brings over 8 years of experience in education. After relocating to Fallbrook with her family, she was eager to serve the local community, both as an educator and a resident. So we're also very happy to know that she is a Fallbrook resident. Aime has a background as a Spanish teacher for 7 years and most recently served as an assistant principal for 2 years at the Carlsbad Unified School District. Aime has built a career focused on fostering inclusive student-centered learning environments. Her leadership is grounded in strong relationships, cultural responsiveness, and a commitment to equity. She is passionate about creating safe, challenging spaces where all students feel supported and empowered to succeed. She's excited to contribute to a school community that reflects her values of connection, collaboration, and academic excellence. And Aime is also fully bilingual. Welcome. I don't know if there's anything that you would like to share with the board or if the board would like to ask any questions.
Good evening, and thank you for those kind words. I just want to say that I am really excited for the opportunity to work in Fallbrook. I grew up in Oceanside all of my life and went to UCSD and came back. My husband's family lives in Fallbrook, and they've been here for over 15 years, and we are very happy to now truly be part of the Fallbrook community and part of the Friendly Village. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope I can help make Fallbrook the best place it can be for all students.
Thank you.
No questions, just welcome to the team. I know that administrative team here and our directors are awesome, and if you have any questions, we'll be here to help out. Next, we have public comments. The Fallbrook Union High School District Board of Education encourages and invites the public to comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. Per legislation 1292, the board will give twice the allotted time to a member of the public who utilizes translating technology assistance to address the board. Total input on any one subject will be limited to 20 minutes and may be extended at the discretion of the board president. Comments on non-agenda items will be heard at this time. Comments on an agenda item may be taken at this time or when the agenda item is discussed by the board. Speakers will be called in order by topic and when card is submitted. Do we have any public comments?
I do not have any blue cards. No, there are no public comments.
Okay, next we will have our reports from principals.
And I just want to clarify that we will only be hearing from Principal Lauren Gardner, who will be speaking on summer school.
Good evening, everyone. So we're officially halfway through our second session of summer school. It will conclude next week on the 17th, and at 3 p.m. we will have 5 more seniors who are going to cross the stage as graduates. Our current enrollment at this time is around 275 students. It changes a little bit on the daily. Our first session, we had over 395 students who recovered credits moving toward graduation. 91% of the students who recovered credits did so with A through G compliance, so they earned a C or better. And we had less than a 3% failure rate in summer school, and that can be attributed to kids who just stopped attending. So overall, summer school has run really smoothly. Our staff has been outstanding, and our students have been really well behaved. Pam Kane has done a great job with providing enrichment opportunities after school through assets, including a college and career visit with College Visit Tuesdays, where they've been taking our ELD incoming freshmen and non-summer school students on visits over to different colleges all over Southern California. So most recently, they visited University of Riverside, or UC Riverside, on Tuesday. So it's been a great opportunity for our students in getting our incoming freshmen early exposure to college and knowing what lies ahead of them. And that pretty much wraps it up. We're moving toward the end. Any questions you have for me? All right, thank you.
No questions. Thank you for everything. Next, we have report from board members. Would anyone like to go first?
I think I just have one topic to talk about. Last board meeting, we got a presentation on our California Healthy Kids survey, which was very complete. We got a lot of really positive numbers from that. I was interested. I took a deep dive into that survey also, which, from what I understand, what that does is it takes a snapshot of kids. I think the latest survey looked at our 9th graders as well as our 11th graders. And what this does is this is a criteria of maybe 100, maybe 150 different measurements. None of these are warm and fuzzy topics, things like exposure to violence, if they got meals at breakfast the day of school, how well they got sleep, exposure to tobacco, and a bunch of other things. What I also did is I looked at the report 2 years prior at the freshmen then, so that would have been the same group of students that were assessed in our 11th graders. Across the board, our numbers on just about every category improved substantially, like really good, dropping from whatever the criteria is, 9% down to 2 or 3%. I'm really happy. The more I dug into that and saw those numbers firsthand, the presentation we saw did a great job, but it was just kind of an overview. Almost every category improved substantially, and that is so important because we know the more students feel safe and secure in the school, the better they're going to perform. So I just want to double down on that report we saw last month and say how impressive those numbers are, and thank everybody in front of us over here and everybody else that's responsible for it, because it takes all teachers, admin, all the other staff to make that happen. So thank you to everybody responsible for that.
I'll jump in there. I don't have anything to report. As a fireman, and Eddie and Chris understand this, it's a very busy time of the year for us. So my kids are enjoying summer. I'll say that.
Just real quick, last week, a reporter from KUSI, emailed me and asked me to do an interview on the effect of the administration of the $6.8 billion administration has put a freeze on, on schools. And I interviewed at the ranch that I grew up in, where I picked lettuce, picked tomatoes as a kid with my family. Shared some numbers with the audience. I think that Fallbrook's looking at about a $529,000 freeze in terms of support for our students here, all of our students, but with an emphasis on our English learners, Margin Ed students, and so on. So just, just made a solidarity statement. Again, I live in Fallbrook, I teach in Fallbrook. My, family grew up here. And so, just like I said then, we're going to keep fighting for our kids. Tough gut fight, or a little tougher, but we have a great team that believes in everybody. And, we're still going to keep servicing their kids the best we can, hoping to increase our graduation rates, our A through G rates, CTE pathways, and just, love for education. Again, as an educator and a trustee, that freeze hurts, but again, we're here and we're going to keep fighting for our students. Thank you.
Just to echo kind of Paul's point, just with fire season kind of happening, and that's kind of an added stressor and distraction. But on the lighter side, my wife gave birth to twin boys, so we get to kind of enjoy that dynamic in the meantime before going back to work in August.
Thank you. Next, we have report from superintendent.
Yes, good evening, board members. As we prepare to welcome students back to campus next month, I'm pleased to share that our major construction projects are nearing completion. These upgrades reflect our continued commitment to providing top-tier learning environments and essential infrastructure for future generations. Our career and technical education expansion, the new CTE building, home to transportation tech and engineering, will fully open its doors this August. Students were able to enjoy the building towards the end of last year, but it will be fully completed and open in August. The facility brings cutting-edge equipment and inspiring spaces for hands-on learning in high-demand fields. Our agricultural sciences improvement, FFA students will also benefit from new classroom spaces, a state-of-the-art greenhouse, and a multi-use restroom facility, which will also serve the home side of the stadium, and that was a long time coming. These enhancements will support both academic learning and community events. Our energy resilience project is in response to the increasing concerns about power reliability. We've launched a battery backup initiative. This project will help ensure our school remains operational and safe during outages, a reflection of our dedication to energy-conscious planning. And our electrical infrastructure upgrade, which was mentioned by our Citizens Oversight Committee, the final project funded by the 2016 bond, though largely unseen, is one of the most transformative. It's the electrical infrastructure overhaul. Currently, our campus runs on a 5 kV system, which has become inadequate for the growing energy demands of modern learning environments. We're now transitioning to a 12 kV system capable of supporting today's needs and tomorrow's possibilities. And if you're like me, you probably are asking yourself, what's the difference between a 5 kV and a 12 kV? Think of these systems like water pipes. Higher voltage, kV, means more flow to power devices efficiently. A 5 kV system is like a garden hose, adequate for basics, but limits capacity. So we are currently very limited. A 12 kV system is comparable to a fire hose, stronger flow to meet higher demands. And then there's 54 kV systems, which we will not be implementing, but that's more like a city water main, used for large-scale industrial or utility-level operations, and it's not typically needed for schools. The upgrade will unfold over the next 3 years as we install new gear switches and components. It does require temporary shutdowns in specific areas. Over the next 2 weeks, the weight room, cafeteria, and administration building will experience power loss. We ask for your patience and understanding during this time. If you call and don't reach someone immediately, please leave a message. Our staff will promptly return the call. Though the inconveniences are real, the long-term gains for our students and staff are even greater. We're building not just facilities, but futures. Thank you.
Quick question. The power outage that you mentioned when is that going to be exactly, and how is that going to affect coming back to school?
That will begin this Monday, the 14th, and will go for 2 weeks. We don't have school in session. We do have 1 week of summer school still left. It basically means that our cafeteria, our administrative building, and our weight room will be shut down. The weight room will not affect anything. The cafeteria has already made plans so that they can still feed students. And the admin building, our administrators will be housed elsewhere, as well as the nurse's office. And we are having a meeting tomorrow where we will have a communication plan to the community through our social media about these changes, where they can call, the types of delays that they might expect. It's the phone system that will be impacted the most.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda items, education services. Action item 2025-2026, Proposition 28, report and plan arts and music education funding program. Can I get a motion?
I move that the board approve the 2025-2026 Proposition 28 report and plan arts and music education funding program as presented.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Haskell and Mr. Jones. Any comments or questions? None? Mr. Carrampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item 2025-2026 Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant Plan.
I'll go ahead and motion that we approve the 25-26 Art, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant Plan as presented.
I will second.
Thank you, Mr. Jones and Mr. Christensen. Any comments or questions?
Just one question. Both of these have carryover from the previous year. Is that right? And then are we utilizing both the new and the residual for this year? Is it already being a lot? I know it's a grant, so we don't have the money, but are we anticipating the funding being completely used this year because it's staffing as well as supplies, correct?
So we do have carryover, and I'll have Ms. Toon address your other questions, as she's the one that creates the spending plan with our staff.
So our Prop 28 funds are a yearly allocation, and we have 3 years to spend them. We are planning to make sure we spend that down before the end of those 3 years, and we are still spending down our 80% allocation for staffing from last year for the Prop 28. For the arts block grant, and we do have a plan in place for that, so we have some 5/4 and things that we're planning to do. For the arts block grant, that funding is actually expiring September 30th of 2026, so we have a plan to spend it, but we also have a plan if our departments are not able to spend it by January. We have a backup plan and some other contracts that we can divert the funds to make sure we spend those down as well.
Thank you. That answers it.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Carrampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Business Services, action item, Resolution 22-2425. Appointment of the Citizen Oversight Committee, COC member. Can I get a motion, please?
Sorry, I'll go ahead and motion for the action item, Resolution 22-2425, appointment of the Citizens Oversight Committee, COC member.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christensen and Mr. Haskell. Any comments or questions?
Has this already been a person allocated to that position, or is this a pending position?
This is actually a voluntary position, and we have 7 members. 7 members that we're required to have on the Citizens Oversight Committee. They serve 2-year terms. It's very similar to the way the board works. A lot of our members have expired their 2-year terms. The member that you're voting on tonight requested to continue on, and that's what the board would vote on, and then we will begin advertising to fill the other vacancies that are still available. And this will be her 3rd term serving on the Citizens Oversight Committee.
Thank you.
Just a big thank you to our community members who are part of this committee. Any other comments or questions? All right, Mr. Carrampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item, Resolution number 23-2425. Accounted for compensated absences in accordance with GASP Statement Number 101.
I'll motion that we approve Resolution 23-2425, accounting and compensated absences in accordance with GASB Statement Number 10101, as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Jones and Mr. Haskell. Comments or questions? Thank you. Carrampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item, amendment number 5 to the site lease and facilities lease with Erickson Hall Construction Company as a selected leaseback LLB number 2223-04 contractor for the CTE project at Fallbrook High School. Can I get a motion?
I will motion for the action item amendment number 5 to the site lease and facilities lease with Erickson Hall Construction Company at the selected leaseback LLB 2223-03 contractor for the CTE project at Fallbrook High School.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christensen and Mr. Jones. Comments or questions?
Can you just explain that?
Yes, this is the change order, because when we first built the CTE building, it was originally designed for wood shop, and then the wood shop program went away. So we just left it a shell and not certain what we were going to do. So now we're here at the end of construction, and we would like it to perhaps be a culinary classroom. So we're looking at just very, very basic culinary and what it would cost to make that a culinary classroom. And right now, this is a very rough order of magnitude for the $1,094,987. That's the change order for Erickson Hall. And that will be funded by the remaining bond funds. And we may have to use some general fund and maybe some capital facilities fund, depending on where our bond lies, because the majority of the remaining bond funds are caught up in the electrical upgrade. So that's why you see the multiple funding part there.
So, not to jump too far ahead, but is it preemptive to approve this and then we don't have the funding based on something that happens electrical-wise or some change order that occurs to the pending construction that's currently going on and not having the funds? If I even said that correctly.
Well, we don't have the funds in bond, but we do have the funds. We have our capital facilities, our Fund 40 that we put, so we do have those. And we also will have some, like, we can use some of our reserves. It's just hard to say exactly what we're going to use. Hopefully, we may have enough bond funds now that we've rolled over to the new year, but that's as if the electrical stays with the $3.5 million that we originally allocated for it. So it's going to be pretty close. That's why I don't want to say, yes, we have the bond funds, but we do have the funds between multiple sources.
Okay, so if I understand that right, I hesitate jumping into creating a new, I love the culinary, I love the idea, but again, approving something with the potential of going into reserves to complete a project, am I hearing that correctly? That is a potential, unknowing, but.
It could be a potential. I would first hope that we would use our capital facilities fund that we have about $3.5 million in. That's just for capital facilities, but that would be the board's decision.
Okay. Last question, a little off topic. There was a question in the community about a wrestling room being used and switched around and maybe not having a wrestling facility. That may or may not be accurate. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it before, but I'm wondering if a culinary, a very simple culinary versus utilizing a wrestling team that's been moved out of their current facility, if that, there may be a completely separate option, but, or issue. I just want to make sure we're not adding something that we're kicking somebody else out or moving people around.
Yes, that is completely inaccurate. So we are moving the wrestling program, but we are moving them to the gym, so that right now they're in MOT, and the building that they're in, I believe, does not have air conditioning, correct? Yeah, so we're moving them to the gym. They will share the space that is shared by our gymnastics program. Both use mats. We have places for them to store their mats. They're different seasons, so they're going to be using that room in the gym for training. Their competition, obviously, is always in the gym. The CTE building is not an adequate space for wrestling because of the size of it. It would be wasted space. And there has never been talk about eliminating the wrestling program.
Yeah, I didn't mean eliminate.
No, I'm adding that because I've heard that from the community as well.
I didn't hear that aspect of it, but thank you for clarifying. I think that answers my questions for both of you. I would just, my only point would be I'd hate to jump forward in a project to potentially be spending reserves on an added, I wouldn't say unneeded, but unforeseen financial atmosphere in the future, if that makes sense. But if there's the capital fund money left over plus this prior to going to reserves, that definitely makes me feel more comfortable about it.
So I support what we're talking about. We're talking about using a space that we had a plan for and we had to kind of whittle it down because of finances. We have a very popular program, which is culinary, which doesn't have enough room. So for $1 million about, we're talking about moving it to the CTE room, which kind of makes sense, gives them some room. And I think what you're telling us is we don't exactly know because some of these things are a little fuzzy. Electrical, we don't exactly know, but we're talking about $1 million. And I don't want to say $1 million is only a little bit of money, but most of it is, or all of it, is going to be used by the remainder of the bond AA money. We're never going to be able to pick a set of projects that exhaust a bond amount to the penny. We're always going to either leave a couple $100,000 in there, which doesn't make sense, or we're going to have to spend the remainder of the bond money and then use a little bit of money out of our Fund 40.
Capital Facilities Fund.
Yes, to make that happen. So with what we're talking about, I think, Paul, if this was a $9 million project, and I would be a little bit more nervous, but with what we're talking about, the importance of these programs, I'm completely comfortable with what we're doing.
Any other comments or questions? None? Okay. Carolampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Ms. Rodarte is absent. Next, Superintendent Human Resources, information item, revised new and deleted board policies and administrative regulations and exhibits.
Yes, the revised new and deleted board policies and administrative regulations are being presented as an information item for a first reading and will return as an action item at the next board meeting. Ongoing reviews and updates are necessary with board policies and administrative regulations. The review enables the district to ensure the policies, regulations, exhibits, and bylaws conform to state and federal law. The district also compares its policies, regulations, exhibits, and bylaws with the California School Boards Association recommendations. Additionally, the review serves as a reminder to the governance team and to staff of the operational principles and implementation guidelines for the district. Implementation of these proposed revisions should support district efforts to help students attain the goals identified in the LCAP. The revised new and deleted board policies, administrative regulations, and exhibits presented are informational items for the first reading and will be placed on the next agenda for action.
Thank you. Next, action item, revised new and deleted board policies and administrative regulation and exhibits. Can I get a motion?
I move that the board approve in the second reading the revised, new, and deleted board policies, administrative regulations, exhibits, and bylaws as presented.
I will second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Haskell, second by Mr. Christensen. Any comments or questions?
I only had one on the first policy manual.
So it's clearer when we're reviewing complaints from the community or students, because what was happening is we were missing information, we'd have to call the complainant, and they thought that's when we were resolving the issue. So this provides more information to us so that we can better address their concerns. But the policy, the board policy and the administrative regulation have not changed.
Thank you. That was perfect. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Karampia Botai, Mr. Christensen,
Aye.
Mr. Haskell,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and Mr. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item, committee on assignment for the 25-26 school year.
I would go ahead and make a motion that the board approve the committee on assignment for the 25-26 school year as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Jones and Mr. Haskell. Comments or questions? All right. Mr. Karampia Botai, Mr. Christensen,
Aye.
Mr. Haskell,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and Mr. Rodarte is absent. Next, information item, Fallbrook Union High School District Annual Notification of Parents, 2025-2026. This is an informational item for board review.
I'll move for the action item revised. Sorry. No, it's just information, correct?
It's just an information item. Every year, we are required to provide parents and guardians with the annual notification, which has information on student rights as well as parent rights. It's provided in English and Spanish. When parents enroll their students and register them for the new year, they do receive a notification in the process asking them to verify that they have received it. We also have hard copies available of the annual notification to parents and guardians, and it includes everything from information on concussions in the athletic program. This year, something that was new was the dangers of opioid addiction. And there's information on how to go to college, the importance of filling out the FAFSA, all of the discipline, suspension rules from the state are basically in the manual. And we present it in English, and then right underneath the English is the Spanish version italicized.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have action item, revised social worker job description.
I move for the action item for the revised social worker job description.
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christensen. Moved by Christensen, second by Jones. Comments or questions? Okay, Mr. Karampia votes aye. Mr. Christensen,
Aye.
Mr. Haskell,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and Ms. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item, revised job description for financial clerk.
I move that the board approve the revised job description, financial clerk, as presented.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you. Moved by Mr. Haskell, second by Mr. Jones. Comments or questions? Okay, Karampia votes aye. Mr. Christensen,
Aye.
Mr. Haskell,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and Mr. Rodarte is absent. Next, action item, revised job description, interpreter for special education.
I'll move for the action item revised job description interpreter for special education as.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Christensen, seconded by Mr. Jones. Any comments or questions?
I would like to add, on all three positions, they are not increasing our spending. These were positions that were filled, and people have either moved elsewhere or retired. We have met with the union for the revisions before bringing them to the board, and they are all currently vacant.
Thank you. Mr. Karampia votes aye. Mr. Christensen,
Aye.
Mr. Haskell,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and Ms. Rodarte. is absent. Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the Board of Trustees to be routine and will be enacted with one action. There's usually no discussion of these items prior to the Board of Trustees vote on the motion unless members of the board request specific items to be discussed or deleted from the consent agenda. Action item, approval of consent agenda.
I motion that we approve the consent agenda as provided.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Jones and Mr. Haskell. Comments or questions? Karampi votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And Mr. Rodarte is absent. Organizational matters. This is the appropriate place in the agenda for members of the board to request the superintendent provide further information regarding items discussed at this meeting and/or request that new items of business be placed on future agendas. Do we have any organizational matters?
I think we've been talking about this for a while, but just an update on the SRO opportunities, where we're at with it, and what needs to be done moving forward for attaining an SRO.
Date and time of next meeting. The next regular meeting of the Board of Trustees will be held on Wednesday, August 13th at 4:30 p.m. in the Fallbrook High School Library. Adjournment. There being no further business to come before the board, the regular meeting of July 9th, 2025 was adjourned at 6:14 by Oscar Caralampio.